What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to the Uprise Podcast. My name is Leandro Gonzalez, and I'm your host. For this edition of the podcast, we're going to be going through interviews with particular individuals that I believe have, in a way, excelled in life. And today I have brought for you guys a personal fitness coach and a dance instructor. You know, I've seen them dance. Oh my goodness gracious, when I'm talking about the ladies that they get, it is insane. I'm not saying it in a way like people may think, oh, well, maybe he's toxic masculinity. No, I'm not talking and referring to that in any way. I'm talking about art. I'm talking about dance. Something that individuals may never be able to have probably in their lifetime. And he has been able to accomplish that with just fluidity. And the way that that's so fluid, that dance and that art attracts that female. And that's basically what I teach as a life coach. And today I'm just going to be asking him questions. And as you guys listen in, ask yourself, what story are you telling yourself that may match to this particular individual if you are in the same industry? So we're going to start off by introducing yourself.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, what's up, man? Well, what's the handshake?
Two taps, bam.
That's what we talk about.
Welcome to the family already.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So who are you? What do you do?
First and foremost, name is Michael Lorenzo. Okay. My friends call me Mike. And by day, I'm a personal trainer. By night, I'm a dance instructor. That's basically the way I like to introduce myself to everybody. Okay. Little bit multifaceted. I'm from New Jersey and obviously based out of Hawaii. Moved here exactly a year ago. The goal was to just spread dance, spread the art, spread the fun, the passion, and see if I can make my mark here with what I learned back home.
Okay. What brought you to Hawaii, though, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, yeah. It's a funny story. When, before I came here, my brother, he came here first because of the military. And we grew up together our whole lives. When he got stationed out here, that was the first time we got separated. And I was always curious, like how things were going for him here. Mm-hmm. So I visited and I got to know everybody that was a part of the family here, that is a part of the gym, the community. And I was like, man, this place is amazing. Took us out to the beach. My boy Hip, he took us out on a tour, waterfall hike, took us out to eat, and basically just showing us hospitality. I went back home and it was just in my mind, like, that was an amazing time I had back in Hawaii. Fast forward a couple months later, I visited again because I had to just be around this group of people. They're just so amazing. And they had told me that they're gonna open up a gym and they want us to come teach dance. And obviously personal train because we all worked out together. That's what we did. We used to go to the gym and work out together. We would go to 24-hour and we'd be like the life of the party, making the noise and getting everybody to do one extra rep, and we'll be talking to random people and be like, hey, come do this workout. Just the vibe. That's basically what brought me out here. One of the guys was like, if you don't move out here, we're not friends anymore. And at that point, I was like, I have to move out here. So I dropped everything that I was doing back in Jersey and made the move.
Okay. If I noticed two key things there, and as part of the two key things that I teach, it's technical skill and proximity. And I believe proximity is power. And you identified something pretty interesting to me. You said, I had to go back. The energy was insane. I had to be around this group of people. How important was that to you? Like at that moment, it just constantly being in your head, it's like, this is the group that I need to be a part of. Why was that powerful for you?
My whole life, I've always wanted, since I was young, I've always wanted a group of friends that thought the same, had the same values, had the same outlook for the future. Mm-hmm. And everybody, as I was growing up, that I met, in one way, shape, or form, were a little bit different. Or I always felt like I was different. And for the first time when I came here, we all like to work out, we all like to have fun, we all like to spread a good message, we all like to, more importantly, progress as people. And that's the main thing that stuck with me. I was like, man, we all want to evolve, we all want to get better, we all want to just progress. And it was just easy once they told me that they wanted me to be a part of what they were building.
Okay. And the technical skill portion of it, you having the ability to dance gave you this opportunity. And
For sure.
I teach a lot of times where it's like, if you are in your 20s, use it as training grounds. If you are in your late teens and you're trying to figure out something in your life, use it as training grounds for your 20s. Use your 20s for training grounds for when you're 30. Use your 30s for training grounds for when you're 40, so you can set yourself up all the time. And it seems to me that you set yourself up unknowingly by just mastering art. Now, when did that start for you? When did you start dancing? When was it a cultural thing? Were your parents just high energy all the time, and that's where you got your energy, I can imagine?
It's a funny story, super funny story. I never thought that I'd be here when I started dancing. Back in high school, my whole life I didn't know how to dance.
Okay.
Every time I would go to the parties, everybody would be dancing because I'm Latino and that's what we do. I would always be the one sitting down. And one day in high school, I remember this vividly. I was sitting in class, English class, it was over, and the prettiest girl in the high school, in my grade.
It's always a girl.
Oh my God, always, bro. That's how we all start.
Yep.
She came up to me and she was like, hey, you're Dominican, right? I was like, yeah. Meanwhile, I've never spoken to her ever. And she's like, top of the top. I was like, yeah, how come? She was like, oh, well, I'm having a Sweet 15 and I was just wondering if by any chance would you like to be my partner? And I was like, well, what do you mean? She was like, oh, we're gonna dance bachata. And I was like, oh, she thinks I know how to dance. Okay.
Because you're Dominican.
Yeah,
all
of
Dominicans
course,
know how
right?
to dance.
Have to. And I was like, sure, definitely. This is something I've been doing a long time. She was like, all right, practice is at my house after school, gave me the address. I showed up, and all of her friends were there that were a part of the Sweet 15 team. And she put a choreography on the TV, and she was like, this is what we're gonna be doing. Meanwhile, I'm standing there like, oh, shit, like I've never done this in my life. Let's see how this works out. So one by one, everybody was doing their thing. They were dancing, they were doing bachata, they were imitating what was going on. And when it got to my turn to dance with her, I just froze. We were just there. She was just trying to help me. And I just couldn't move at all. I was stiff, I didn't know how to step, I didn't know the rules, I didn't know anything. And she was super nice about it. She was like, oh, it's okay. Like, we'll practice and we'll get better. Long story short, at the end of the practice, she was like, okay, practice is tomorrow again after school. I'll let you guys know what time. Next day rolls around. I text her, I was like, hey, what time's practice? I get no response. I'm like, oh, okay, probably busy or whatever. I'm walking down the hallway to my next class and I see her. I was like, hey. I was about to say her name, I can't. I didn't say her name, right? No.
No, you didn't.
I was like, hey, beep. What time's practice? And she just walks right past me. And I was like, oh, maybe she's just in a hurry. Yeah, maybe she's just in a hurry. I'm here just rationalizing it in my head. And then after school rolls around and I see her best friend, she was part of the team. And I was like, hey, I saw such and such and asked her what time was practice and like she didn't let me know. And she was like, Mike, you can't dance for shit. I was like, oh, okay. So I went home, I put on YouTube how to dance bachata, I got a broom and I started dancing with the broom.
The typical one. Yeah.
And I never knew that that moment would lead into me joining a dance studio, would lead into me ultimately teaching dance here in Hawaii.
So throughout this whole conversation that you've been having, there's a success cycle that I love to push out. And it all starts off with uninformed optimism. And in the beginning, as you can see, like just so that we can relate towards it as I'm going through it, uninformed optimism, you're like, oh, wow, she's beautiful. Yeah, I want to be your dance partner. Yeah, let's do it. Boom, dance routine. Fuck, I can't dance. Now you're informed of what you have to do, but now you're pessimistic. You're like, fuck, I really can't dance. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. You get through that, you kind of struggle, you go through all the failure, basically all the hate, all the pain of like, damn, I can't dance. She's beautiful. I can't lead. I can't do nothing. She's basically leading me, and feminine energy, masculine energy leads. Even if the female has the masculine energy predominant, then she would lead if that's just her energy.
For sure.
And then you like got into like crisis of meaning or like crash and burn stage where you're like, oh fuck, like I need to learn how to dance. What can I do to dance? And in that moment of crisis of meaning, there's two things: people seek or people indulge in other things. You could have easily just went another route. You could have easily said, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, I have my stuff going on, I'm still in school. Were you like practicing towards like a degree or anything?
I joined college.
Okay.
And I dropped out 2 years later because I found a job that I was making money, and
Okay.
I didn't want school to get in the way of the money that I was making at that time.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah. So you basically continued through high school because you told you gotta go to college and tried to graduate. You dropped out. You went to a job that was kind of good for you, right? You could have easily took that route, but no. You're like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to dance. Fuck it, I'm gonna learn how to dance, right? Be able to have fluidity and connection with females. And then you went to an informed, optimistic approach. You're informed of the pain that is going to take for you to learn how to dance. The time is going to take for you to learn how to dance. And a lot of the reason why I say the time is because right now you got get-rich-quick schemes, and you have all these like, oh, I'll show you how to dance, and you'll learn how to be the best dancer right now. I'm pretty sure, you guys say, it takes time. There's an advanced class, there's a beginner's class, and there's intermediate class, and then there's like, goddamn, you like ready for choreography type stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
So you take that, you take that route, inform optimistic, and then you achieve. That's the success cycle, and that works with anything. In this case, for you, it was trying to get that girl. And the reason why I bring that up right now, especially, is I have a previous podcast. If you haven't listened to it, it's called The Success Cycle. But I wanted to give you a representation of that cycle being in use. And a lot of people, when they're using it in business, which has more risk, more scarcity, more fear, which fear is the thing that we push back on. Because, we fear that we're not enough, or we fear that we might lose something. And in that moment, you're probably like, damn, I'm not enough for this girl.
For sure.
This girl is beautiful. I'm beautiful in a way, like, why? I'm not enough for this female, so I have to do something. And you kind of just use that fear as a driving force elsewhere. So my question to you is, throughout the journey of you getting all that dancing stuff and going through college, like you recently mentioned, and getting that high-paying job, and moving to Hawaii and saying, well, I'm going to be a part of this dance studio, was that fearful? And why did you keep on going?
The decision to make the move in the beginning, even though it was something that I was excited about, I wanted to do, it was scary for sure, because I was gonna give up everything I knew back home. I had a whole routine. I would wake up, I would train. I trained Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the morning. I would go to work, and then I would go dance at night. My whole community, my friend group, everybody I knew, the girl I had back home, I would have to give that up to start a new life here. So it had its element of fear, but my whole life, thankfully, you were talking about training grounds. I've had multiple experiences where I would feel scared, but I would do it anyway. I had multiple times where that was something that I did. So even now, whenever I get that feeling of like, oh, I'm scared to do this, I get this like anxious feeling, I'm so used to doing it anyway that I didn't let it stop me from the opportunity that it was.
Okay. Where did that start?
I think that started where I became conscious of it was when I started competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
That was very my first passions. Very first passions.
Is it because I've trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, amazing sport. Oh my goodness gracious. I've done judo, karate, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is to kill someone. I think so. It's fucking insane, right? And I definitely do see that, like, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have to get over that fear of like, I do not know what this person is capable of. I do not know how this is going to end up, but I'm going to try. And that, like, whenever, because before we were offline, I was telling you, my job is pattern recognition. A big pattern that I've seen is people saying that they don't know. People saying that they can't because they're too young. People saying that they can't because they're too old. People saying that they can't because right now their conditions aren't being met. But in reality, it's their behaviors that need to change. In reality,
Their habits.
Yeah, in reality, it's do it. You don't know because you've never done it. So do it, right? And I guess what I'm trying to get through here is throughout your life, how important was it to you to get out of the unknown and say, what am I actually capable of? Like, what is my essence? Like, what can I be? What can I accomplish? Like, what was that for you?
One of my biggest problems is, I'm sure everybody deals with it, is analysis paralysis. They overanalyze something to the point where they don't do anything at all. It's one of my biggest problems my entire life. I want to know the whole plan. I want to know A through Z. Not knowing that the biggest breakthrough is starting, and then the path would illuminate itself along the way. When I first got a taste of that with training, with dance, or with coming out here, that's when I learned that lesson that I'm not gonna know the whole path. I'm only gonna know the first step, and when I take that first step, the second step gets revealed to me.
Yeah.
And if I never take that first step, I'm never able to, quote unquote, walk the road.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. It makes a lot of sense. It's like complexity is the enemy of execution. You know, we all get into our heads, and we all like, oh well, I'm never gonna be able to do this. I'm never going to be able to do this because there's just this whole, there's so much things that need to happen in order for me to get there. And if we just, the brain is powerful, man. If we just say, this is the only thing I need to do, which is that first step, how can I do that? Not this. How can I do this first step? And then you like kind of shimmy on through and move through it, and you do it, and it's just kind of like a cycle effect, like kind of like a snowball in a way. So my
Real quick, one of the biggest fears when in dancing is asking that girl to dance, if she would like to dance. And after years of just going out and asking different people, hey, would you like to dance? And experiencing rejection, and it's experiencing excitement, and experiencing great experiences. That kind of made it easier also to realize that I just have to go take the first step. And with dance, that's the first step. Just going up to the random person that you don't know how they could take it, and asking them, would you like to dance?
So now let me ask you something about that. In regards to that, you know, I can imagine you guys have a format or some sort of strategy for individuals that want to ask a female to dance. I think that it lies in the preparation before, you know, the resourcefulness that you had before. I'm a very confident guy. I know how to dance, not as good as you, but I can just walk up to someone and be like, I know the basics, right? But even before that, I was like, fuck it, you know, let's dance. You know, I don't care if I get embarrassed. I mean, I don't even know you at the end of the day, right? So what strategy or implementation do you use while you're doing your dance classes for someone to overcome that first step? You know, like, hey, this is what we suggest for you asking that girl if she wants to dance.
As cliche as it sounds, I literally tell all my people, just be yourself. If you're one way, stick to being that way. Don't be somebody that you're not.
Okay.
Be human. Like, don't go in there with a script. Don't go in there, because that's what's gonna benefit you for the long term. You come in and you're nervous, and she'll see that. She's nervous too. A random person is coming up to her.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly. So I always tell my people, just go up respectfully, extend your hand out. Would you like to dance? And if she says no, say no problem. Don't make her feel bad about it. Don't get angry. Don't get emotional. For all you know, her feet hurt. For all you know, she just wants to have a good time, listen to some music.
Yeah.
She's her own person. She's not obligated to dance with you. Just be respectful, polite, thank you, no problem, and then move on.
Yeah.
And then for the person that you end up dancing with, same kind of deal. Be yourself.
Yeah.
It's all about being
reason
human.
for changing it, yeah.
It's all about being human.
Yeah. It's good that you brought up the portion of like, you know, if she says no, I mean, you know, you can't really do anything. And like in sales and marketing, I dabble a little bit in that. And like the key thing, I'm pretty sure you've seen it in Alex Hormozy, he explains it in the best. He says, your challenge, your obligation, and your number one thing that you want to get away from is not giving them the power to decide. You have to give them the power to decide. So, like, say, walking up to someone and being like, hey, you know, I thought, you know, I would like to dance with you. Is that all right with you? Oh, no? Okay, well, I'll be over here if you, like, really want to dance. You know, I see you're comfortable or whatever. And that, like, kind of alleviates all that stuff. I mean, I guess I'm asking for me and myself. That's
All right.
good? All right?
That's solid. You're not coming in with some weird pickup line that most people think that they have to do.
What's the weirdest one you heard? What's the weirdest pickup line?
Oh man, I hear the weirdest stories where guys would just come up and just bomb it. It's horrible. Yeah, it's not as complicated as as you would think it would be.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started going out to clubs and wanting to dance. Funny story, I went to Barcelona on a trip to actually compete for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
This is while I was training salsa. And I searched up salsa clubs near me. I got 6 months dancing. I'm good. I'm a beast. Yeah, why not? I find this club called Club Mojito. I make plans to go over there, get ready, put my spray. I got the most confidence. I'm like, I'm in another country. I'm about to have some fun. I'm about to have the time of my life right now. I'm by myself. Go to the club, and the first thing I see is a dance floor full of people spinning, going crazy, doing these moves. And I'm just there like, whoa, this is wild.
Yeah,
I go
man,
straight
they dance
to,
at another level, man.
yeah, it's wild. I go straight to the bar, I order myself a drink, and I'm just like, all right, let me just get loose, let me just get the courage. And I'm looking out, and it was just professionals, what looked like professionals the whole way. Long story short, I got up, left, I walked back to the hostel that I was staying, went to bed. And the point of the story is we all experience that nervous feeling. We all experience that anxiety. There's always times where we feel like things are gonna go one way, but they go a completely different way. And we can't let that stop us from continuing our growth. Because what I did was I went back home and I trained even harder because I never wanted that to happen again.
Yeah.
And I took private lessons and I trained every day and I danced every day so that I could never feel that feeling of nervousness.
Yeah, so before I said, you know, preparation before, resourcefulness before. In this case, you were prepared, but now you're in a different caliber of preparation that you needed to impress, right? So my question to you is, what did you feel like more of like enhanced in that moment of like, now you're teaching people how to dance or whatever, like you go to Barcelona or you go to these amazing salsa dancing countries. That's like, if you want to be a dancing instructor, would you go to learn in that case? Instead of just like, you know, partying all night, would you go to learn now that you're a dance instructor?
In my case, I came up under the same person. I came up learning everything I know from one person and then taking little bits and pieces from other styles, other instructors, other teachers. There's a lot of different philosophies as to how you should go about your journey.
Yeah.
I can only recommend what I went through. I was fortunate to find somebody that I clicked with, somebody who was super knowledgeable, somebody who cared about me, and I learned under him, and I stuck with him the whole way.
Yeah.
I learned everything I learned off of him. And then when I was ready, I told him that I was gonna make this move to start teaching. And his exact words were, if that's what God has planned for you, do your thing.
And it's a disservice if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that's amazing, man. It's amazing. I do definitely see that you have a lot of high energy when you talk about it as well. And I can see that, you know, just seeing you guys from when you guys were just being at Ranchero and starting up the company and being like, whoa, now we're dance instructors, teaching people at Ranchero, and hey, you know, we have this stuff going on. If you guys want to come over here, best marketing strategy, by the way. Bunch of tourists. I remember you guys saying, you know, if you're here on vacation and you just want to learn how to dance, come through, we got you. Bro, best marketing strategy ever. Because, you know, tourists, you know, oh, I want to learn how to salsa dance in Hawaii, right? Yeah. So I was like, damn, that's so freaking dope. That's so cool. And I guess to kind of end it off in a way, I know you got stuff to do. This question I ask everybody. And the best question that I've had, I'll expose later on after I receive your answer. And the question basically goes, if you had the chance to speak to the whole world, or you're passing away and you're overlooking your funeral and you're seeing your eulogy, like the script that they give for you, what do you want to be said about you, or what would you want to say if you had the opportunity to speak to the whole world?
Like a piece of advice?
Anything. It can be one full sentence. It could be a huge story. What would you say?
The biggest thing that made a difference in my life was getting out of my own way.
Okay.
The biggest thing that I held myself back from progressing was something that I was justifying over and over and over in my head to keep doing. And when I ultimately stopped or just put the brakes on it, I was able to progress in life. For me, I drank every day, Monday through Sunday. There was a point in time where, you know, you have the weekend, Friday, Saturday, turn up. Sunday comes, you brunch. Monday comes, you have to get over the hangover from the weekend, so you know, you drink a little bit. Taco Tuesday comes around, let me get some margaritas. Wednesday comes, you gotta go get the middle of the week pick me up.
Yeah.
Thursday comes, Thirsty Thursdays. You gotta drink Thirsty Thursdays.
Cheap.
Exactly. I had all these justifications in my mind to drink. And I knew, my conscience was telling me, stop drinking, or stop drinking as much as you were. When I finally made that decision to stop getting in my own way, I was able to move forward in life.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking shit about drinking. I'm not talking shit about partying. But what I am talking shit about is that justification that we make in our minds. Whatever that one thing that comes up to mind, anybody listening, that they're justifying to stop doing, they know in their heart, stop doing this is what they should give it 30 days. It could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be partying, it could be vaping, it could be whatever it is that they know is holding them back, that they're justifying right now at this moment. It's not that bad. Give it 30 days and see how different, how better life would be.
Yeah, if you were to just stop.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty deep, man. I actually recently turned 21, and on my 21st birthday, I was like, I'm not gonna go out drinking. Because, you know, around me, surrounded by me, being in the military, that's normal, right? We go out drinking every Friday, every Saturday, you know, when you off of work, go out to drink. Oh, let's have fun. Let's de-stress from the week. And I didn't drink for my 21st birthday, and then I started getting succumbed and being in this circle of proximity is power, right? Being in this circle of individuals that just drank all the time. And I just started feeling bad and bad and bad. I'm like, I'm a life coach. What am I doing? I'm experiencing an immense amount of cognitive dissonance. My belief and my actions are not being met at the same time. So what can I do to improve myself? Well, like for instance, small little things. I got the Whoop, right? I don't know if you're familiar with a Whoop is.
Hell yeah.
This thing is amazing. Tracks everything. HRV. Are you familiar with what HRV is?
No.
So heart rate variability is basically the milliseconds between your heartbeat, and your resting heart rate is your resting heart rate per minute, right? It's said that if your resting heart rate is low, then your HRV can be high. Now your HRV is being high is good. That means that your heart's ability to handle stress is at a higher level. The one moment you drink one drink, it decreases by like 20 points. So I usually stand baseline 125. I drink one drink. Next morning when I wake up, 115 or 1.5. Then the next day you drink again, it drops again. And it takes 4 days for your body to fully recover, for your body to be able to handle stress. And I'm an air traffic controller. Air traffic control and being in the military, two of the most fucking stressful jobs in the world. You can imagine, I need to have high energy. On top of that, I do podcasts. I am a life coach. I listen to people's conversations. Sometimes they're very gruesome. How do I elevate myself? I can't drink. I need to, it's a disservice if I drink. And that metaphor in my life, me getting out of my own way, did help me. So I appreciate you giving that advice because I resonate with you with that, man. Because I truly believe in it. But now that you mention it, the alcohol, the dancing, the partying, the loud music, your business, because you are a business, you are a brand, right? And that's the most important. I'm a brand, you're a brand, Rico's a brand. I forgot his name. The guy that owns the gym, he's a brand.
Yeah.
The gym is the gym, but he's the brand, right? You being a dance instructor and you being the catalyst of partying, in a way, right? Partying is usually involved with drinking.
For sure.
What advice do you give for someone to have that good time, to have that fun time with moderate drinking? You get me? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
For sure.
Okay. Definitely.
The best piece of advice I can give is just know yourself. Mm-hmm. Know that if you're not a drinker, don't get succumbed to peer pressure. Know that you can have a good time without drinking. You can have a good time without letting other people influence your actions. You can still party. You can still go out and dance. I do. I didn't think it was possible back in the day. Now, I just have a different mindset towards having a good time.
Yeah.
It's like you're not letting it be a crutch. Because like you were talking about, it's a massive, massive, massive roadblock to be going through a hangover and still do what you have to do. You don't have the energy you once had. You're recovering. Your body is spending its resources to get rid of what you just put into it. Mm-hmm. But you can still go out and have a good time without alcohol, for sure.
At least moderately. I'm not saying to
even
not drink.
Even moderately too.
Yeah.
The best piece of advice too would be the people you choose to surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. I don't surround myself around people who force me to believe or act the way that they're acting. They accept me for me, mm-hmm. and I accept them for them.
Yeah.
You feel me? So we can all go out. I won't drink, and everybody knows. Oh, Mike's not drinking. It's cool. Maybe I'll have a drink. Oh, that's cool too. Nobody's gonna peer pressure me. Nobody's gonna force me because they know it's not gonna happen that way.
Yeah.
And for anybody listening, just be mindful of the people around you because that's normally it. Everybody around you.
Proximity is power, man.
Yeah, for sure.
They, Harvard School of Psychology, they just recently pushed out a research study. I think it was like 90% of success is determined by the people you're around. And it's things people have been saying for millennia. So much time. But now they put it into an actual research study, and now people believe it.
Hell yeah.
Why do you have to look at a research study for you to believe this type of stuff? People are telling you this. People have been through it. Just listen, right? And just to end it off, I know I promised that I would like disclose the best answer that I've gotten. And best answer actually was from my dad. And like I was very young at the time, and I started my personal development journey. I was like, you know, Dad, what would you do if you had the opportunity to speak to someone? He's like, be more human. He's tough Cuban dad. He's like, que la gente sea humana. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Elaborate. He's basically saying this world is dying down, man. People are so focused on the phones. People are so focused on the phones. People are so focused on social media. People are so focused on the being famous, essentially, and they're forgetting about all their friends. They're forgetting about all the people that where they were, their roots, right? So I just wanted to end it off on that. I appreciate you for your time,
That's
brother. I hope that you had a good time.
I
You
appreciate
learned
you,
some
bro.
stuff. I definitely learned some.
Appreciate you.
We got
2
the
times.
handshake.
Bang, bang, chop. Solid, bro.
Yeah, man. But see you guys in the next one. I should be having a podcast for you guys about another week from now. So take control of your life. Live with passion. Gonzo out.